Greetings, friends. I'm Alexander Snodderly, and welcome to Now You Know, a show where we dive into anything and everything. Today is one of my favorite topics, a monumental invention, typewriters. Now, clearly people know what typewriters are, but what else do they know about them? Sounds like Katie can help us with that.
I'm Katie Byrd, and you're watching Byrd on the Street. In this week's episode, I'm asking people what they know about typewriters. So, could you explain to me how a typewriter works or how you use it?
It's like a computer type keyboard with notches that are really high, and you have to like move the paper back, and then you like type a little bit, and then you have to move it to go to a different line.
Like, you click a key and then it like flips it down with like ink to like type your letter.
Well, it has the keys like a normal keyboard, but the keys are all connected to like a bar with a letter on it, and it dips it in a well of ink, and then it transfers it to the paper.
Typewriter is basically like a computer keyboard nowadays, and you would be able to punch it in and type into a sheet of paper, which you would start with the top and then scroll through, and you just type on it like a regular computer nowadays.
Hey, have you guys ever used a typewriter before?
No.
Do you guys know how to use a typewriter?
I think you hit it and then like you gotta push it to the left.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a typewriter before?
Yes, I have actually.
So explain to me the process. How does it work?
Well, it's just like a normal computer, isn't it? You just type in. The only problem is you've got a problem with like the ribbon. The ribbon will get jammed sometimes, or got to replace that. You know, you type a sentence, then you got to click it back in to get to the next line.
If I offered you $10,000 right now, would you exchange your school laptop for a typewriter?
Honestly, yes, because I don't really use my school laptop because I have my other Mac laptop that I use. So probably because I would like to see what a typewriter is like.
How do you feel about typewriters?
I think typewriters need to be brought back.
Okay, have you ever used one before?
Not like legitimately. I've used one on the set with Tyrell Childress once where we wrote some great sentences.
How do you feel about typewriters? She's dry.
While typewriters date back to at least 1714, Italian inventor Pellegrino Turri is typically credited with the invention in 1808, when he set out to create a device his blind friend could use to write letters. Over the years, we saw similar devices, like the typographer patented in the 1820s by William Austin Byrd. But it wasn't until the 1860s when Christopher Latham Sholes invented the first successful commercial typewriter. After selling the patent in 1873, the device entered the American market, known as the Remington typewriter. Now, the invention of typewriters was not just for home use, but it revolutionized the business industry, ending the lack of efficiency and time that handwriting required, as well as the cost of paying another party to do the printing for you. Even today, we see how typewriters are the blueprint for modern technology, not only in concept, but with QWERTY.
Can I ask you a question?
Week by AJR.
That's not what I was going to ask.
Double or pass it.
Okay, let's find someone else. Here we go.
Yeah, of course. I've got my Old Goose flannel on right here with the American Eagles beanie, running me about 60 on top. Below, I got my African Safari TJ Maxx exclusive. This is about 20. Thank you very much.
Okay, one more person. Can I ask you a question? Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do one of these. Do you want to see my apartment? Sure, why not? I guess I'm seeing the apartment.
Getting this typewriter ready for the birdhouse later. Yeah, all the keys seem to be fine. Oh, looks like we got a letter. Let's see here. Who's sending me mail at this hour? Dear Alexander and the producers of Now You Know, we are everyone's favorite keyboard, originating from some of the oldest renditions of the typewriter. We feel like we deserve a bigger spotlight in today's episode in an attempt to clear up a common misconception. Many people know our layout front to back, but not the origins from which we came and wanted to ask for some help. Sincerely, QWERTY. Conveniently, this was brought up because one of the essential pieces to the typewriter is, well, the typing. The interesting thing is that the origins of the QWERTY keyboard are at times covered with more fiction than fact. The popular theory states that Shoals had to redesign the keyboard in response to the mechanical failings of early typewriters, which were slightly different from the models you might see now. The idea is that if a user continued to type a succession of letters whose type bars were near each other, the machinery would eventually jam. So the idea was to put the most common sequence of letters, your HE or TH, separate, to have a more effective typing experience. However, this theory simply doesn't make sense with the passage of time. If the idea of separating common sequences is true, then several pairings like ER, the fourth most common letter pairing in the English language, being placed right next to each other on the top row makes very little sense. It's more plausible that the QWERTY keyboard came from what early adopters and beta testers felt was most effective. You see, many of the first people to use the typewriter were telegraph operators, who needed a faster, more efficient way to transcribe Morse code. So if Shoals wanted to make a faster way to transcribe Morse code, he would cater the keyboard towards what they saw as effective. When the first generation of computers emerged, they used the QWERTY layout, and that truly established it as the standard for keyboards. So thank you, QWERTY, for letting us clear up any confusion.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Birdhouse. I'm your host, Katie Byrd.
And I'm Alexander Snodderly.
Today we have a super fun episode. Al is actually taking us back in time and he's teaching us how to use a typewriter. Al, tell me a little bit why you became interested in typewriters in the first place.
Well, ever since I was younger, I've had a love of old technology. I started actually with that Royal typewriter right there in middle school, I believe. I was on a summer vacation trip to my grandmother's and saw it sitting in a antique store in Sedalia.
Wow.
I think I bought it for 20 bucks at the time and it served me well. But I've had a love of old tech for as long as, I've been alive. I actually have this pocket watch right here.
That's great. So can you kind of give me a rundown of this typewriter that we have here, the different ways that it works and all of that?
This typewriter, we see that the keys here are set up to where they hit that ribbon in this straight fashion. The ribbon is set up here, similar to how that Royal typewriter functions over there.
Nice.
This Underwood, however, functions by having it slam upward into an older ribbon.
Wow. So how about we give it a try? Let's see how it works.
Let's. We use it by loading paper in like this.
Perfect.
And getting it set up at the beginning. And I'll just go ahead and type out my name. How about you give it a try?
All right. Wow, so I just go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, So I am curious, what happens if somebody messes up? What do they do?
Well, I believe back whenever typewriters were prevalent, you would grab a bottle of whiteout an area, and then send it back to where that word was and type over it. If it was a full string of a sentence, you would probably just pull the page and start over again.
Wow, nice. So how do I click enter and start a new line, or do I pull it?
To start a new line, you just rotate this circle
Perfect.
and send it back to the beginning.
Awesome, this is fun. I might have to exchange my school laptop for one of these.
I have thought about bringing one into class.
That
just to
would
type
be
out my notes.
iconic. I think you should do it. All right, so how do we get the paper out of here?
We twist it back up and then grab it when it releases.
Nice.
And then we can show what we've done.
Yeah, and it's just as easy as that.
Yeah, just as easy as that.
Wow. That's awesome. All right, well, thank you so much, Al. And this was a super fun episode learning how to do something I've never tried before. And be sure to watch us on the Birdhouse next week. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Today we learned about our good friends, typewriters. We learned about their origins and how they came to be. QWERTY sent us a letter at the most perfect of times, and I got a chance to teach Katie about one of my favorite hobbies. So if you didn't know much about typewriters before, I guess now you know. I'm Alexander Snodderly, and thank you for watching.